To begin with, you should not think of public administration or private administration, civil or military administration, or any other type of administration or category of administration. To begin with, you should focus only on administration. What is administration? So if you try to locate the literal meaning of the word administration, you will find that the word has originated from Latin word ministere, which means to serve or to look after things. So in common parlance, when you use the word administration or management, it means to look after things, to look after things and to manage the affairs related to society in one other form, other ways. But administration in its core content, if you delve deeper into the concept, then administration is about cooperative effort, collective effort of two or more persons towards the accomplishment of a common objective. I mean, in general, in common parlance, when we use the word administration or management, we mean to look after the things, to manage the affairs. But as a student of public administration, you need to understand that administration is not so simple. Administration in its core content involves a cooperative effort, well-organized and institutionalized cooperative effort among two or more persons. Cooperative effort for what? Towards the accomplishment of a common objective. I, you and several other persons, we have a symbol. And we come to know that we need to accomplish something which is in the interest of all. But none of us in individual capacity can accomplish such thing. So we decide to cooperate with each other. The second question, that cooperation may take place here, today or tomorrow, day after tomorrow, after that. So if you want cooperation, your goal and purpose is so much important that if you want that cooperation of two or more persons, cooperation to take place on sustained basis over a period of time. It is not just one-off cooperative effort to accomplish something. Goals and purpose are such that you need to work consistently towards, or in that direction to accomplish that for welfare, development, security, etc. So when two or more persons decide to work together, and their collective effort is well institutionalized in terms of division of work and responsibility, determination of power and authority, and choosing the course of action. So what you will do, what other person will do, and how you will connect to each other. So when also decisions are taken, when cooperative effort is placed in a formal mode of rules, regulation, power, control, authority, structure, procedure, etc., it qualifies to become administration. So wherever you come across the word administration and wherever you see administration, you should be very very sure that two or more persons are making some kind of collective effort towards the accomplishment of a common objective, not individual. Because of two or more persons are working together, but in furtherance of their different individual objectives, so they will move in different directions. At the very first instance, cooperation will not be possible. Honestly, and cooperation constitutes the very core of administration. So when this kind of cooperative effort among two or more persons are taking place in a very institutionalized way, very systematic way, where what, how and why of the cooperation is well defined and properly enforced, it qualifies to be called administration. And if this administration is taking place, in a public setting, governmental setting, then it qualifies to be called public administration. And if this administrative effort is taking place, administration or collective effort is taking place in a private setting, it is called private administration. So we have public administration and we have private administration. So public administration is basically government's administration, whether it is central government or state government or local government. And what is the purpose? Obviously, government's ultimate purpose and objective in a modern democratic welfare state, government works for welfare, development and security. So therefore, public administration brings within its purview sum total of all those activities which are carried out by a select group of individuals, officials, civil servants, and talking about something. So public administration brings within its purview sum total of all those activities which are carried out by select group of persons towards the accomplishment of common objective like welfare, development and security. So it involves individual officials, I mean to say civil servants, institutions, agencies, all working together in proper cooperation and coordination with each other to accomplish the common objective. Now, you need to understand the meaning of the word public. Then only you can unravel the full scope of the expression public administration. The word public has three meanings or three dimensions, you can say. Word public relates to anything which is associated with the state or government. So we use the word public, first of all we use the word public in its first meaning. First meaning, the word public is used to mean anything associated with the state or government rather than a private entity. Second meaning of the word public is public at large, common mass, rather than a particular community or group within it. So when you use the word public, it means public at large. Getting a point? And the third meaning of the word public is anything which is related to transparency rather than secrecy. So very often we say in common parlance, please make the report public. So when we say please make the report public, what does that mean? It means transparency. People should know what is happening in the government. So the word public has three meanings. Something associated with the state or government. Secondly, it is related to or committed to public at large rather than a particular group or community. And thirdly, which is related to transparency. So if you bring the word public and then the word administration. Administration means collective effort taking place. Two or more persons making collective effort, organized collective effort towards the accomplishment of a common objective. So this organized collective effort of two or more persons, if this is taking place in a public setting, getting a point? The government committed to public at large, transparency, then public and administration, it becomes public administration. Point clear? So public administration can be defined as something which brings within its purview sum total of all those activities which are carried out by a select group of individuals on behalf of the state for the welfare, development or security of the people, which is done for the entire common mass and which is done in furtherance of the cause of public at large, and which is done with highest level of or good level of high level of transparency. What is clear? This is known as public administration. And if you remove the word public, that remains only administration. Now this administration can be used in the context of any organization. You have administration in a temple, you have administration, some kind of administration in social organization, you have administration in the government, you have administration in the corporate world. So wherever you go, two or more persons making organized collective effort, that is administration. So when we talk about public administration, we talk about government's administration. Studying public administration means studying the institutions of the government, the functioning of such institutions, the institutions and the public, relationship between the two, the dynamics of relationship between administration and society, to study the legal system within the bounds of which administration functions. You need to study, there in public administration you study challenges of policy formulation, policy implementation, or bringing a qualitative change in the day-to-day life of the people, a qualitative change, transformation, improvement in the life of the people. That is all about development, So public administration is government's administration, and to study government's administration is not something which is confined only to institutions or intra-institutional subject matters like rules and procedures, etc. So you need to understand the structure, method, technique, process, rules, regulations, intra-institutional studies, and then institutions, inter-institutions relationship and the dynamics, then all institutions of the government on the one hand and public at large on the other, relationship between the two. This is the full scope of public administration, and in contemporary times, if you consider liberalization, privatization, globalization, then public administration is not confined to the territorial boundary of the state. It is a part of a very complex global matrix of interdependency in different dimensions of life. So studying public administration is studying all such things. Getting a point? It is a subject which demands interdisciplinary approach. Very interesting subject that empowers you a lot in terms of understanding of the governmental functioning and many more things. Rest will be discussed in the other lectures of mine. Thank you very much. Thank you.